Okay, let's dissect this full moon in Capricorn because it does come with an underlying deeper message. Now, this full moon will bring in a level of frustration or a triggering experience or internal pressure because it's going to square its ruler. Here's the thing with squares though, sometimes that frustration is the key to your power. It is key to developing new solutions. It is key to growing. You don't grow in your comfort zone, and this full moon tells you to get the fuck out of your comfort zone, to be honest. I take a Saturn ruled full moon quite seriously because Saturn is connected to karma. So this full moon is going to bring up something to heal karmically. And I think it could be connected to a fear or a pain, okay, because it's a Saturn ruled full moon and Saturn can be connected to our fears, our pains. Another thing it could be is fears connected to old survival strategies. That's more of that Cancer energy. And it's almost like the walls that we build to protect us are now the very walls that are standing in our way. And here's one of the frustrations. This moon will not only square its ruler Saturn, but it will square Neptune. So there's this frustration of like, I feel this way. I feel so strongly about this. I have this emotional truth, but I don't understand why. You don't need to understand why. You just need to feel it. You need to feel it. You need to be with your body. You need to release it and let it out. And it's okay if you don't understand it. You can still move it through your body. And I think whatever you are releasing, like you are divinely protected to release that. It's like it's safe to feel it now. It's safe to confront this now. It's safe to talk about it now. There's this beautiful release that I feel comes from this. I feel like this buildup of pressure and then a big release. Now, while all that is going down, you have a couple background energies at play here. One thing I really like is Uranus and Pluto are in a nice conversation together. And I almost feel like there's so much like in the background without you knowing, clicking together. Things are falling together. You know, I was watching The Devil Wears Prada and there was a quote and it went something along the lines of like, when things are frustrating, when people are coming at you, when people are trying to tear you down, that's how you know you're on the brink of a breakthrough. And that's something that Mars and Uranus is bringing, is this energy of a breakthrough, this energy of being at the edge of something new. So yeah, there's so much being set up behind the scenes there. And then Pluto in Aquarius, you know, Pluto is about transformation. Pluto's like, yeah, I'm down for the change. And I feel like if you are brave enough, if you allow yourself to be at the edge of a new version of you and you are brave enough to go beyond that edge and see what this new version of you is all about, there's so much support for you to do that. There's support and transformation. And you have to change. You know, we can't be the same person we've always been and expect to achieve new results. Sometimes these new results, these new goals that we have require a new version of us. And that's what Pluto does. Pluto grants us that opportunity to do that shadow work and change ourselves from the inside out, to change ourselves on a deep psychological level. Identities can evolve, right? There is a spectrum of many different versions of ourselves that we can connect to and tap into. And people are unlocking new versions of themselves every day. With the ruler of this moon being Saturn in Aries, identity is a huge conversation. And I think there's a clash because a new identity is trying to emerge, but it's stuck behind the protective walls you've built. And that's something that this full moon, I think, brings, this almost like forced change, this forced transformation, this forced like unearthing of your shadow side, all to facilitate a change. All because maybe you've been setting intentions, you've been doing the manifestation work, and now the universe is like, okay, do your part. Do your part and become the person who can actually, you know, make this happen and manifest as someone who actually has the bandwidth to do this. This is a really powerful time to set intentions, and this is like setting intentions from a place of like anger, from a place of rage, from a place of frustration, from a place of like, fuck it, I actually can't do this anymore, I actually can't handle this anymore, I'm actually so sick of this. And that's powerful energy, okay? If you are into the wishy crafties, then you know that's powerful energy and you should utilize the heck out of that. If this is the energy of being fed up with something, and at the end of the day, to be fed up with something is a gift, right? To be done with some BS that you know you don't need to be giving your energy to is a gift. It's freedom. So that's what this full moon gives. It's giving breaking the chains. Make sure you follow me because I will be doing sign by sign horoscopes and breaking this energy down for your specific zodiac sign. I just wanted to pop in and just break this energy down on a collective level too, because this full moon is deep. This full moon is deep and it's not an easy energy. But if you can get on the other side of it, if you can harness it and use this energy to empower yourself, this is a very healing energy. This is the healing of energy of like finally breaking the pattern. But, you know, I understand that being human is not easy. And that's another thing that Capricorn energy and Saturn energy really rules, is the last stage of humanhood, because after that we get into Aquarius, we get into aliens, and then we get into Pisces, we get into mystics and whatnot. But Capricorn energy and Saturn energy really brings us into connection and awareness with our own humanity, with our own limitations. And this is also the thing too, is that if you have a goal, you have to train for it, right? So you don't just base your chances of achievement and success on your current capabilities. It's like an athlete who says, I can't climb Mount Everest right now because I'm not fit enough. Like a proper athlete would say, I'm going to climb Mount Everest. I know I'm not fit enough now, so I'm going to train. I'm going to train so that way I can be fit and eventually I'll be able to do the dang thing. Some of us are in that point right now where you have that goal, you have that mountain, that you want to climb. Don't be afraid to train for it. So don't shit on yourself now, because you're becoming that person. You're becoming that person every single day, every single moment, every single time that you regulate your emotions, every single time that you change your perspective, every single time that you put yourself out there and go beyond your comfort zones and try something new. So take it easy on yourself. Okay? Take it easy on yourself, because being a human is fucking hard. Being an adult is fucking hard. This energy will also have you reflecting on your commitments. And commitment can be difficult when we lose sight of the purpose. So maybe it's not that you hate what you do now and you don't want to do it anymore. Maybe it's that you forgot your intention. You forgot your purpose. Because when things have purpose, now the mundane has like reason. Like there's reason to get up and look proper today, because you never know who you're going to run into, right? There's reason to get up and do the annoying little tasks like your taxes and your 9 to 5 or whatever, and clean your house, because we know there's a greater purpose to these things. And this full moon, through its frustrations, can remind you like, oh, this is my purpose. This is why I do what I do, why I have the goals that I have. And what is purpose? I think purpose is simply your intention. What is your intention with your life, with your goals, with your work, with your friends? Why do you create this ecosystem around you? And remember, intention is not just a bunch of words that you spill out. And it's not like a Santa list, right? Here, universe, this is a list of things I want. Intention is an energy. It's a creative force that you literally push out of you, and that force sends a signal to the universe. And when the universe receives that signal, then it knows how to support you, to support your intention. So maybe it's not that you lack commitment. Maybe it's not that you don't know what you want anymore. Maybe it's that you just need to go back and remember what your intention is. Why did you even set off on this journey? Why do you do what you do? Aries, this full moon is trying to free you from an old version of yourself. And this old version of you is mean. Like, this old version of you runs a strict program. Like, this old version of you is not to play with. And I think this old version of you got you through a tough time. But you are through that tough time, okay? You are through it. So you can let this version of you rest. I also feel like a karma you're tackling is this belief you have behind what success is. Do you even follow your own definition of success, or are you following someone else's definition of success? And do you care too much about what other people think? Fear of failure, fear of not living up to your own potential, fear of failing other people, fear of making the wrong decision has been such a blockage. It's been quietly influencing your choices, and this karmic wound is ready to be healed. This is where the turning point is for you. Aries, I think you're ready to reinvent yourself. yet again, this time from a place of confidence. And I think the version of you that you're stepping into is sickening. Aries, you could be working through like old family dynamics, emotional wounds, old karmas around the family. And I want you to remember that number one, you are who you are now. You're not who you were before. You're not your past. You're not where you've been. I think Aries needs to know it's okay to let this go. It's okay to be the oddball out. It's okay to break the generational curse. It's not going to feel good. Okay, breaking the generational curse it doesn't feel fucking good. But you know it's necessary. You know you need it to heal your nervous system, to heal your heart, your spirit, to heal the next generation. So thank you, Aries, for doing that. I think new doors are opening for you. I think you need to trust your own instincts and make decisions more quickly. Taurus, I feel like certain plans you had might not be the plans you should follow anymore. There is a redirection here for you. And I fear that you have been afraid to trust in a new direction. I think you're scared of wasting your time. You're scared of the unknown. You're scared of starting over. All normal. But when you close yourself off to uncertainty, you also close yourself off to possibility, to potential. So that's where the karmic pattern is breaking. That's where the shadow work needs to be done. I feel like Taurus is in this preparation mode. You are getting ready for something big. You are downloading and channeling something big. But I think the blockage you face is needing to have answers for every single step of the way before you can commit. It's like Taurus wants 100% guaranteed success, otherwise it's not going to commit. And that's just not how life works, unfortunately. Sometimes the next step is only revealed when we're on the path, and sometimes we do not have 100% guarantee that something's going to succeed. But I think what makes you go for it anyway is number one, you're excited, and number two, you trust yourself. You trust yourself to figure it out, to overcome blockages and challenges. So that's something you are learning to do, Taurus, is trust yourself again, to trust your capabilities. And even if you don't have the capabilities now, trusting that you can acquire that you can acquire the necessary skills needed to build the goals you have. And you are so much more than a goal. You are so much more than what you achieve. So let's remember that. Taurus, think back to the moment that made you distrust change. What made you feel like it was failure? What made you feel like it was dangerous? I need you to know you are divinely protected now. It's okay to release the fear from your body, from your nervous system. It's okay to put yourself out there, Taurus. I keep getting this image of spider, like a spider who is scared to put themselves out there fully because they are afraid of the shock factor. They are afraid of people judging them and being scared of them. It's like Taurus is afraid of being like burnt at the cross, being mushed as a spider because people are afraid of the truth that they possess or the energy that they carry. I want you to know it's okay to let that go. One thing a spider is good at doing is building a web. Web symbolizes destiny. Destiny is in your hand. Weave it. I know you have the skills and the craftsmanship to weave it. Gemini. And this full moon is really highlighting those emotional bonds, resources, the dynamics you have in intimate relationships, what you owe another person, what they owe you, your shared finances and resources. There could be a crossroads there, but it's not necessarily the relationship or the situation itself. It's more so that you've been carrying disappointment from the past, or maybe your parents got divorced, for example, and you're carrying disappointment from that. You're just trying to protect your heart from the betrayal, from rejection, loss, financial hardship. But don't close yourself off to potential. Don't close yourself off to a really good bond. I feel like you and maybe your partner, you're both learning to trust again. You're both learning to connect and get deeper and get more intimate. That's going to take a lot of communication. I think all this is surfacing so that way you could take that next level in your relationship. It's here to open you up to new communities, friendships, collaborations. I think you are completely changing your perspective on what it means to be a part of someone's life and to have other people be a part of yours. For Gemini specifically, I feel like you guys are in a little bit of a limbo, and it's because you have already achieved a goal. You have already accomplished something. You have yet to set that next goal, to set that next North Star. And with, Uranus and Mars being in your sign, I honestly would pay attention to that a little bit more than the full moon. That is an energy of generating and setting a new intention, of creating a new goal. And when you have a new goal, your everyday mundane life becomes more meaningful. I feel like Gemini gets a second chance at something. I feel like before you receive, you need to release any limitations you have about finances, any scarcity mindsets. And I think you're also learning to budget and to provide for yourself. And I think you're learning that you are part of a much bigger web. Like the everyday boring job that you have right now is actually supporting a bigger goal and dream that you are getting ready to achieve, things like that. So don't be mad at where you are now. See everything as a step. See everything as a stepping stone. You aren't working a job that you hate forever. You're working this job that you maybe are a little dissatisfied with, so that way you can fund a bigger dream or goal, That's an example of how this energy works. I also think you're divinely protected. So try not to doubt yourself. Try not to get in your own way. Also, time for you to level up your looks, level up your appearance, level up the way that you express yourself. I almost feel like this new version of you needs a new avatar, needs a new character. Have fun with that. It's fun to be designing a new avatar. Play with your style, play with your looks, You never know. You can attract something by doing so, attract opportunities, people, whatsoever. Laugh. Cancer. I'm a Cancer sun and rising, so I'm right there with you. You are going to hear astrologers bring up the theme of relationships. I think this is about examining the karmic patterns happening underneath when it comes to relationships. Have you spent years carrying the weight of other people? Do you believe people can actually love you? Do you actually trust in people? Are you actually opening your heart to the healthy relationships around you? Are you constantly the peacemaker? Are you constantly trying to fix problems? Whatever that pattern is, you have outgrown it, and it cannot stay because it asks you to constantly abandon yourself. Do you have any relationship patterns connected to rejection, conflict, failure, being alone? How are these fears influencing the current decisions you make? Baby, deep karmic wounds are being revealed here. Use it as a turning point. Use it to break free. Use it to break the pattern. Because it's getting in the way of your blessings. It's getting in the way of everything you've built. And so tell the past, go bye, screw you, stop messing with me, uncross yourself from that. Do the cord cutting when it comes to that. I think there's a stronger, more bold you trying to come through. And in order for it to fully emerge, you need to trust yourself. Trust your decisions and stop apologizing for them. Lead with confidence. Lead with purpose. Step into visibility without giving a what people think. Mercury retrograde, right? So that'll bring up memories, relationships, conversations, unfinished business. Don't be afraid to set boundaries. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. Stand 10 toes down. The more willing you are to do that, the more that your body feels safe, the more that your nervous system heals, your mind gets clear, your beliefs get strong. Trust yourself and let go of the fear. It's okay to let that go. Leo, this new moon will highlight your health, your habits, your work routines. And I think you're done being in survival mode. I think you've spent too long putting your own needs in the back burner. I think you're done burning yourself out. And I think you're getting back to experiencing your everyday in a pleasurable way, to living. You're getting back to living instead of surviving. And I think that's the true power we're taking back. I think you're remembering what truly inspires you and how to implement that inspiration into your day-to-day. I think you're overcoming your fear of slowing down, your fear of disappointing others or falling behind, or your fear of not doing enough. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is stop carrying some BS that wasn't yours to begin with. And Leo, I think you're getting ready to pursue something else, to pursue a passion, a hobby, something that excites you. So pay attention to what excites you. You're done living a life that is uninspiring. I think Leo is figuring out that they are the definition of abundance, and opportunities come to you by you just being yourself, not by you trying too hard. I think you're ready to build new communities, get in front of new audiences, put yourself out there, put yourself on a stage. I think you're also doing a lot of healing when it comes to one-on-one partnerships and relationships. I think you're choosing you, which can be a scary thing, which can change our dynamics in our one-on-one relationships. But I think your relationships are adjusting because you are adjusting. And here's the thing, we change. We as people, we change. Our identity changes, our character changes because we get wiser, we get more experience, we learn more about ourselves. And sometimes when we change, our partners have to adapt to that change, or, we need to let them go. Virgo, baby, it's time to open your heart again. I know that maybe a passion in the past has failed, or some type of entrepreneurship journey maybe in the past has failed, but I get second chances for Virgo. I get divine redirection, something that failed you was actually so protective of you. It happened for a reason. It redirected you for a reason, and you're going to figure out what that reason is with this full moon. But I think the shadow side and the karma that Virgo is undoing here is that maybe you don't allow yourself to get excited. You don't allow yourself to feel joy until you have achieved something. And it's not about, oh, I feel joy when. It's about, I feel joy while you build your goals, while you're on this trek. Feel joy every single step of the way. And Virgo, I need you to believe it's possible for you. I need you to have hope. I need you to have faith. And I really sense that Virgo is in their entrepreneurship bag right now. And I feel that there's a lot of healing happening here for you. I think you're receiving a lot of financial support. I think you're receiving a lot of independence and autonomy. And I feel like a karmic thing that Virgo is breaking from is that you're no longer bracing for it. You're no longer bracing for the worst case scenario. You're let me just learn how to receive without fear. The dream that you have that is so divinely protected. There's lots of inner child healing happening here too. I feel like Virgo is healing their heart. And in healing your heart, it's there's these opportunities that have been right under your nose that you finally see and recognize. also feel like Virgo's putting themselves out there with this full moon. Maybe you're starting the social media, starting the business. Maybe you are just marketing yourself locally or online. Maybe you're pitching yourself to your boss. But I think there's something beneficial that could come from you doing that. I think you're ready for this new role. Virgo, I also think you have to heal your connection to exhaustion. Because you are exhausting yourself, you're adopting these habits that aren't very healthy for you. Maybe there's certain like addictive habits to sort of up you, to support you, to give you more energy or confidence or something. But at the end of the day, like, it's fake energy, it's fake confidence. And you are a Virgo, you are Earth sign, you are about using what is natural. So you want to be tapped into your natural confidence. You want to be accumulating more energy in a natural way. And in doing that, I feel like you are able to like re-empower yourself or like reclaim a sense of power. Overall, this full moon is hitting you in a sweeter, more gentle spot than it might be other signs. You might find this full moon more enjoyable, something more fun and playful could come to light. Relationships, pleasures, and play could come full circle. Virgo, there's so much community here for you. There's so much support here for you. If you are building a network, I do think that this is a positive time for that. And I think your network gives you a level of momentum that is necessary right now. That's why I think Virgo's so pushed to put themselves out there. It's like you're finding that soul tribe. You're finding that community. Libra, this full moon really highlights your home life, your emotional foundation, your inner world, your family. Those things might be at a little bit of a crossroads. But I think there's a karmic pattern healing here. Maybe it's a pattern about always holding the peace, carrying the most responsibility. Maybe you're recognizing how your childhood conditioning has influenced you now. Maybe you were taught that love equals self-sacrifice, being compliant. I think this is ready to be healed. I think it's time to set boundaries. Libra is done compromising the self. Libra is done keeping everyone else comfortable. Some Libras might be releasing a home, having to move home. I think you need to trust that you are where you're meant to be. Trust that things will get better. I think this will put you on a new path, a new trajectory that you didn't expect. Some of you might be taking new courses, maybe studying a new spiritual practice, finding new mentors or teachers, creating a new philosophy on life. Something about this time shifts your perspective. Let it. Libra, hi, sorry, different day, different vibe, different outfit, but I realized I forgot a really important part of your horoscope. Libra, don't be surprised if your life starts to take a new direction, especially when it comes to your career, your ambitions, the reputations that you build for yourself, your professional identities. There's a change happening here because maybe you've outgrown a professional path, or maybe you're ready for the next level, like you're ready for a promotion if you feel like you are on the right path. But I do think you are divinely protected when it comes to career because you're ready for a deeper level of purpose. You're ready for a higher level of visibility. The retrograde could bring back old career opportunities, old mentors, old bosses, or if there's any unfinished business or unfinished projects, maybe creative projects that you are taking back on the shelf and giving a second chance, that could be something that happens too. There's also power in having fun, power in healing your inner child. Some of you might even be having children, and that is going to be a really big transformative thing for you. I mean, it is for everybody, but there's a lot of energy here for creation, whether you are creating a new life, creating a new project, a new business, a new hobby, a new version of yourself, whatever. So much power and support in doing that. And have fun, babe. Run free. It's summer. Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio moon, baby, so I'm right there with you. The uncertainty, it's pissing us off. But I think that this full moon brings you a mindset shift. It brings you a perspective shift on uncertainty. It'll bring a shift on the way you handle your daily crossroads. And I think that's because you are tackling your fear. This fear, it drives the overthinking. It drives your control issues and why you have to know exactly how something's going to play out in order to feel safe. Man, there is this question around mindset and safety that is deeply karmically knotted up. And whatever this karmic belief is that's knotted up in you, it makes you doubt your intuition. It makes you talk to yourself in out of whack, disrespectful ways. It makes you question and silence yourself. And Scorpio, you are done being quiet, baby. You got something to say. You do. There's a big throat chakra blockage being healed here. There's also something about how you ritualistically operate in your day-to-day life that is ready to mature and change and get with the times because something about it was stemming from the past. Something about it was rooted in old fear. And what I feel for Scorpio is that you're stuck in a certain daily habit that you know is wrong. You know is not helping you. You know it's causing a blockage when it comes to you achieving your goals, when it comes to you connecting with your higher self. But this Habit is here because of fear, because of old anxiety, because of doubt. And there's a creator on here, I can't remember, unfortunately, who the creator is, but they talked about how certain addictions can correlate to spiritual blockages. And I feel that heavily for you, Scorpio. Like if you're addicted to alcohol, I believe that connects to the blockage of being seen. If you are addicted to marijuana, for example, that could connect to the blockage of, I think, not wanting to feel grounded and present in the moment, not feeling safe enough to be present in the moment. So I think that's Scorpio's biggest frustration is like, you know it's wrong and you're trying to break out of these things, but it's not as simple as stopping the habit. We have to address the spiritual reason as to why we have that habit. And Scorpio, this is heavily connected to money, to your work. If you can get on the other side of that habit, that is when you find the job. That is when you get the promotion. That is when you get clarity on what your next step in your entrepreneurship journey is. And Scorpio, you are also divinely protected on this path. I need you to remember that. You are not alone. Sagittarius, this full moon will highlight your finances, your self-worth, your resources, your work. You could be at a bit of a crossroads here. Maybe there's something that has you doubting your ability to build resources, or maybe there was a bit of a disappointment here. But don't let that trigger you. Don't let that cause fear. Don't let that cause self-sabotage. I need you to believe in yourself. Have some faith in yourself. You will pick yourself up. If you're looking for a job, you'll find it. If you're looking for security, you'll build it. Don't get caught up in what you lost. I want you to take a look right now and take count of what you do have. Do a little blessings count. Sagittarius, it's okay to fall in love. It's okay to tap into your creative gift. Have fun. Have a passion project. Have a side business. Welcome in your children into your life and love them and open up your heart to them. I think you are giving yourself permission to settle into that. You're giving yourself permission to see the happiness in that. I think for a little bit, Sagittarius is having resentment towards that. But I think that resentment just comes from the past, or maybe fear of responsibilities tied to this. But I feel like you're learning to experience joy in this again. I also think fears connected to relationships are popping up. Fears that are connected to financial agreements, relationships, betrayals, emotional wounds. There's something here that has been this weird blockage that has been stopping you from fully enjoying your life that you are now tackling, you are confronting, you're getting on the other side of it. I think this is a time to have those honest conversations if you need to have it, those meaningful one-on-ones. Through those conversations, you could reclaim your power. And I think you're just done silencing yourself out of fear. Capricorn, this is your full moon. And I think you are releasing a version of yourself that felt like they had to carry the entire world on their shoulders. You could maybe feel at a crossroads when it comes to your identity, your path, the roles you've been playing. But I feel like life is shifting here because it's not about what can you endure. It's about what lights you up now. And there's this true, real sense of self coming through, especially with this Saturn and Aries storyline that we're in. This authentic self. This self that is not rooted in fear, that is not rooted in self-doubt. What does that look like? I also feel like Capricorn is breaking out of this karma where you have on paper what is success, what is love, what is beauty, what is whatever on the outside, but does it fulfill you on the inside? Or do you have all that on the outside and you feel a little empty on the inside? This full moon is yo, let's address that because you're ready to feel full on the inside too. And whatever is blocking that, whatever is making you hold yourself back from really feeling fulfilled in life is highlighted during this full moon. And Capricorn is going through this reshaping of what is love. What does it mean to be in a one-on-one connection with somebody? And so much of that required digging up the past and pinpointing why did we put these walls up? Why are we protecting ourselves? Where did we close our heart off? I think that storyline is wrapping up, and there's something really important that you're clearing from your nervous system, from your body, from your mind, from your beliefs. I think you're able to redefine love and commitment from a more grounded place, from a more wise place. And Capricorn, I think you're building some serious momentum here. But alongside building all that momentum, don't forget to rest. And perhaps that's a frustration is you want to rest, you want to work on foundations, but maybe there's all of these other distractions going on. Don't be afraid to set boundaries. I feel like a lot of this full moon is about learning to preserve yourself, your well-being, your health by setting boundaries. Overall, Capricorn, there's a gift here. And I think the gift is this realization of self, this realization of what's authentic. It's we're I remember who the heck I am. Why have I been playing around? And I think when you have that understanding, you stop doubting your future. You stop enduring some BS you don't need to endure. You stop trying to hold everything together and control everything. And instead, you let things be as they are. And you're not worried about whether or not you can accomplish it. You know you can accomplish it. It's about just handling the journey step by step. Instead of thinking, what do I need to do? Who do I need to be at that end goal? What do you need to do and who do you need to be to achieve just the next step? Start with that. And I think Capricorn, when you work on those little details, when you take it step by step, when you work through your frustrations and you stay committed and focused on your goal, you will get there so much sooner than you think. And you're going to get there and you're going to be like, how the heck did I even get here? Baby, you got there because you focused and you took it step by step. So many generational curses being broken as well. It's like not even funny. Serious ancestral healing is going down here. And Capricorn, I want you to know that your ancestors on the other side of the veil, they're not playing around either. They're working real dang hard to make sure you have everything you need to achieve your goal and your purpose. Aquarius. I think Aquarius has been spending a lot of time like thinking through their pain, compartmentalizing their pain. And it almost feels like now the frustration, the anxiety, the pain, the trauma, whatever it was, is coming up for you to feel it. And Aquarius is like, ew, what do you mean I have to feel it? But you gotta feel it to heal it, baby. I also think you're done convincing yourself that you're fine when you're not. You're done distracting yourself from the real root of the problem. I think in some way you're letting go of control in your healing and you're letting it just be what it is. You're letting yourself just feel what it is. And something about that is very important to like regrounding, to recentering yourself. I think Aquarius is coming up with a new way of thinking, communicating, making decisions. I think you're healing in that area too. You're learning to make healthier, wiser, more grounded, rooted decisions. Maybe it's time to share your processing with people, your thoughts with people, the way that you talk yourself through. Share that with people because other people might learn from the way you do it. But I think at the end of the day, you're done repeating the same stories. You're done feeling stuck. You're done being defeated by the same thing over and over again. You're done being on autopilot. You're done neglecting your own needs. You're done feeling burnt out. I also want to remind you that healing isn't linear. Like sometimes we mess up. Sometimes we take a step back. That doesn't mean you failed. That doesn't mean all the progress you made is worthless. Another breakthrough is on the way. You will come from the setback stronger. In fact, what felt like a setback might actually be a major spark of inspiration. It might remind you why the heck you do, what your purpose is, why you have these goals and these missions. Slow down, hear yourself, be with yourself. I promise you the next step you're looking for, the source of power that you're looking for, the purpose that you are missing is in that. Pisces, look at this, how little that flame is. And it's growing! Okay, but why do I feel like that's metaphor? That's a metaphor for your energy. And Pisces, what I feel is that the hesitation, the crossroads, the confusion you might be feeling is not because you are far from your future, but rather you are so distant from your past. You are distant from the disappointment you've been carrying. You are distant from the trauma, from the wounds, from the confusion, from the illusion, the delusion. Life didn't go according to plan, and it's good that it didn't. That is divine protection that it didn't. But I think the blockage that's popping up is fear of being disappointed again, fear of failure, fear of disrupting something good you have going on, even if that something good going on was always meant to be a stepping stone. Maybe there's a fear of having faith, fear of hoping for too much, fear of putting yourself out there, or fear of believing that something good can actually work out your way. That is a karmic wound that needs to be healed. Because haven't you noticed that if you look back at that disappointment, if you run back the timeline, didn't that disappointment lead to destiny in some way, somehow? Didn't that disappointment maybe save your ass some way, somehow? And that's like a little gift that people don't talk about much with Pisces. Pisces can kind of wiggle out of stuff at the right time. And Pisces, I think with this full moon, you need to believe in yourself enough to create new dreams. You need to believe in yourself enough to dream again. That's literally your job as a Pisces. Discover a new source of inspiration. Dive into new gifts you're realizing you have. Invest in yourself. You don't need to wait for outside circumstances to validate you. There's a quote that I love. It's by Hines. It comes from this deck. right here, actually. Let me find the card. Okay, hold on. You got to work with me on this temporary mic situation, okay? Because I'm still waiting on one more like adapter for my new mic. But this card says the credentials are in my spirit. And I absolutely love that for Pisces. And it says my credentials are not in worldly titles. They are in my spirit, my inner treasures, my love and power, my essence. I am more than a job. I am more than a title. My credentials are in my spirit. And that's what I feel for Pisces. Like, you might not be that content creator just yet in physical form on paper, but you are that content creator in spirit. You might not be that entrepreneur yet in physical form or paper, but you are that entrepreneur in spirit. And isn't that enough? Isn't that enough to just start and take a chance on yourself? Because Pisces, I feel like your heart longs to create. It longs to play, to express. And the momentum to do that is building. And I know there's been so much that has unfolded on a deep emotional, maybe even like family level for Pisces. But all of that shadow work you are doing, it's leading up to something. And that something is to be discovered now. So many quiet shifts happening for you, Pisces. Pisces, especially Pisces rising, this full moon hits you in a better spot than it might other signs. But I feel that Pisces has accumulated like a wisdom or a gift, something to pour into this world, and it's time for you to get ready to pour it. And I have to say, like, in this day and time, I think it's really important to become an entrepreneur, okay, especially if you are a woman, because it gives you so much control and freedom and autonomy. And the way that things are going right now, it's very unpredictable, but at least with entrepreneurship, it's something that's in your hands. And I feel that's so heavy for Pisces. Like, something returns to your hands, okay? Something is back in your power. And Pisces, I hope you know that you are worth it. You are worth it, like worth investing in yourself, worth taking a chance on yourself. I also feel like Pisces is reconnecting with joy, reconnecting with their inner child. And that inner child, it holds gifts, wisdom, secrets that you need to know now. There's also deep inner child healing going on about being overlooked, about being criticized, and around disappointment. You are divinely protected now, so you can release that fear from your body. Joy is your birthright.